This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history.
President Trump restricting travel by foreign nationals coming to the United States from 26 European countries.
To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
The restriction does not apply to U.S. residents and green card holders or to travelers coming from the UK, Ireland, and several other countries. He initially announced the suspension would include trade, but had to clarify on Twitter. Please remember, very important for all countries and businesses to know that trade will in no way be affected by the 30-day restriction on travel from Europe. The restriction stops people, not goods. Still, the president quick to blame the European Union.
We made a life-saving move with early action on China. Now we must take the same action with Europe.
And announcing plans to help offset the costs of medical care.
Earlier this week, I met with the leaders of health insurance industry who have agreed to waive all co-payments for coronavirus treatments, extend insurance coverage to these treatments, and to prevent surprise medical billing.
Fears of a pandemic and global recession have sent markets into a tailspin. Tonight, Trump promising loans to small businesses.
This is not a financial crisis. This is just a temporary moment of time that we will overcome together as a nation and as a world.
The president saying, put politics aside and cautioning vulnerable populations.
The elderly population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly advising that nursing homes for the elderly suspend all medically unnecessary visits.
After weeks of mixed messages and downplaying this virus, tonight, a turn toward confronting the challenges ahead.
Acting with compassion and love, we will heal the sick, care for those in need, help our fellow citizens, and emerge from this challenge stronger and more unified than ever before. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thanks, Kira. And these other headlines tonight, the NBA is suspending its season indefinitely after a player tested positive. And actors Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson say they have it too. Officials are warning that the worst is yet to come, and communities are now taking drastic measures to prevent its spread. Here's ABC's Whit Johnson.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
A nation on edge as communities across the country and around the globe brace for what the World Health Organization is now calling a pandemic.
We have rang the alarm bell loud and clear.
Right now in the United States, there are over 1,200 confirmed cases of coronavirus in at least 44 states with at least 37 confirmed fatalities.
It is 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. I think that's something that people can get their arms around and understand.
On Capitol Hill today, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, issuing this dire warning.
We will see more cases and things will get worse than they are right now. Bottom line, it's going to get worse.
In Washington state, the epicenter of the nation's outbreak, with over 300 confirmed cases and 29 deaths, the virus ferociously attacking the elderly.
The grim reality is that for the elderly, COVID-19 is almost a perfect killing machine.
Cut off from their loved ones, families are left to peer into nursing homes or blow kisses from afar. News that 10 nursing homes now report cases of the virus. To stop the spread, Washington is going on the offensive.
This is not a time to be going out into public and close contact. It's just too dangerous.
Banning large gatherings, and Seattle is closing their public schools for at least 2 weeks. Across the country, New York, with at least 213 cases, is the site of the nation's first containment zone. The suburban neighborhood of New Rochelle, New York, is one of the largest clusters of the virus in the United States, with over 100 cases linked to a New Rochelle attorney who is still hospitalized in critical condition. The once bustling town is on lockdown. The National Guard also on the way beginning tomorrow. Noam Bramson is the mayor. When people hear that the National Guard is coming in, they picture some kind of militarized community, but you say that's not what it will be.
The Guard is here to provide logistical and operational support to our community. A big part of that is delivering meals to the kids who are not able to attend school and are eligible for free or reduced cost lunches.
Nationwide, the virus has prompted more than 1,500 schools to close, impacting more than 1 million students. New Rochelle is only 25 miles from New York City, the city of over 8 million taking extra precautions today. CBS News announced that 2 employees have tested positive. Actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson posted on Instagram that both of them have tested positive for COVID-19 and are currently in Australia. The NBA suspending the season until further notice after a Utah Jazz player tested positive. As coronavirus continues to spread around the world, some countries are struggling to contain the deadly disease. Yesterday, the number of fatalities in Italy at 630. Tonight, coronavirus has claimed at least 827 lives. With eyes on Italy, the rest of Europe is gripped with fear. The United Kingdom has 456 confirmed cases. Even the health minister testing positive.
These shelves should normally be full with things like toilet paper. Now they are completely empty. Here's after the numbers that we saw in Italy, you get the sense now that if people think that if something like that could happen in Italy, it could happen in any European country.
Finding out who is carrying COVID-19 is essential to stopping the outbreak. There have been almost 9,000 tests administered in the U.S., but health professionals warn that there aren't nearly enough tests to meet the demand.
At this stage, testing millions and millions of Americans, even those that aren't sick, would be an optimal outcome, just not one that's within our reach.
Cruise ships can be a hotbed of infections. 21 people tested positive for the coronavirus on the Grand Princess cruise ship, which was held off the coast of San Francisco pending the results. The 2,400 passengers began slowly disembarking Monday and are being isolated for 14 days.
Priority disembarkation today will be given to guests with more urgent medical needs.
Eva and Ron Weisberger were among the first to leave.
Had they known about this, they would have never boarded that cruise ship, ever.
I've had it here. This morning's breakfast really turned me off.
Debbie Chalik says her parents' dream trip to Hawaii quickly turned into a floating nightmare.
Literally, passengers would get off the ship, go through a makeshift triage, and have their temperature taken, and that was it. And then they were just sent together, packed on a bus to a military base.
Tonight, the couple giving us a glimpse inside Travis Air Force Base in California. They are currently feeling fine and showing no symptoms.
Just very depressing walking around, seeing everybody in their masks.
They are confined to that room, except they're allowed to go downstairs to obtain their meals. They're allowed 6 feet away from the building in an enclosed gated area. And there's a bench, and they'll sit out there and eat so that they're not on top of anyone else. They want to keep their space, and they want to be in fresh air.
She says her parents still haven't been tested for COVID-19.
They said they're going to test now within 72 hours, according to the literature. I wonder if they will or not, because we have not been tested.
How are you and Mom doing today?
Chalik claims this could have been avoided. She's now representing her parents, suing Princess Cruise Lines for more than $1 million in damages, claiming that the cruise line lacked proper screening protocol and that the cruise liner continued sailing with thousands of passengers, knowing that some of those passengers and crew had already been exposed to COVID-19.
They had a responsibility to their passengers and their crew to make sure that they would not be exposed to something so horrible. And yet, they did nothing.
Princess Cruises telling ABC News that they are focused on the well-being of their guests and crew, within the parameters mandated on them by the government agencies involved and the evolving medical understanding of this new illness, and that they would not comment on pending litigation. Question of how to move forward at the forefront of everyone's minds, as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, warns George Stephanopoulos this pandemic is far from over.
Every day we buy is a valuable day in terms of spreading, and that's why aggressive efforts are needed and public cooperation is important.
Despite the dire circumstances, experts are urging people to remain calm but be prepared.
It's important to distinguish panic from deliberate urgency. And as long as people keep their head on their shoulders, don't overreact, and do the right thing, we're going to get through this.
And a reminder, Dr. Jen Ashton will be back here tomorrow to answer your coronavirus questions. So tweet them with the hashtag AskNightline.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.